Hello again, fellow folks, and thank you for coming to my channel. First off, I'd like to thank everybody who watched my first video and the people who subscribed and the kind comments. Apparently, one of my viewers came all the way from South Africa, so that makes me feel really special. So if you'd like to leave a comment in this video, please also include where you're viewing from so that we can celebrate our global community. If you're new to this channel, basically a little bit about my history. About a year ago, I went into the hospital for breathing problems, where I went into a coma for 10 days. And when I woke up, I was told that my hands and the bottom half of my legs would need to be amputated because of necrosis. Well, today is about halfway through of when I went under a coma and when I came out of the coma a year ago. So I wanted to share with you what I remember from before I woke up. So the first thing that I can remember is being carted off in my hospital bed down a very long hallway that was lined with wall-to-wall windows on one side, where there was apparently some political rally and a lot of people were looking in with signs, and it felt like I was being used as some kind of political propaganda. And of course, I didn't really like that. I thought that was really odd. And I was trying to think about how I could find my dad to tell him that I wanted to go to a different hospital. Now, keep in mind, this wasn't the hospital that I was in. This was just a made-up hospital that was in my imagination. And after that, I remember starting to not be able to see. And from that point on, I was only able to see abstract images, kind of like maybe psychedelic colors that were phasing in and out, and black stars that kept phasing in and out of different sizes and points and things like that. Just a bunch of hard to describe just images that just kept phasing in and out. But I could still hear things that were going on. But of course, since I wasn't aware of exactly what was going on, my mind was trying to kind of make sense of what I was hearing. And in my mind, I felt like I was being kidnapped, like by the mafia or something. And they were taking me to this underground place and keeping me there, and I couldn't move. I couldn't see anything except all those distorted images, and I could just hear, but I couldn't fully make out what I was hearing. I just kept hearing mumbles and talking and just mutterings. So I was just trying to, in that state, trying to focus on what I was hearing and focus on what I was feeling, and just stayed concentrating on, I've got to figure out a way to get in touch with my dad. I got to find my dad. Where's my dad? Because he was at the hospital with me before I went under. And I remember at another point, I was suddenly on the back porch of a close friend of mine's lake house, with my close friend there and my boyfriend there taking care of me. Now, I still couldn't see anything, but I could hear the waves of the lake crashing up on the shore, and I could kind of hear their voices. And so during that portion of what I remember, I felt very safe, very at ease, and like I was being taken care of and like things were going to get figured out. But then again, I felt like I suddenly got kidnapped again by strangers and kept getting taken around to and from one place to another. And the entire time, I can't see. It's just a bunch of distorted images of light and black stars just coming in and out the whole time. I'm just hearing things that I don't quite understand. I'm hearing different voices. And then I remember at one point, towards the end, I suddenly started being able to make out something, and somehow I managed to find a phone, and it was kind of like a old silver flip phone. And I remember opening the phone and dialing the numbers, and I still had this haze of images in front of me, but I could kind of make out the phone well enough to dial my dad. And I called my dad, and I told him, I don't know where I am. I need somebody to come get me. I don't know what's going on. And he said, don't worry, we're here. We know where you are. We're coming to get you. Just hold tight. And when I closed the phone, that's when I woke up. So I don't know if while I was unconscious, what I was hearing in my dream was based off of what was going on around me. Possibly, I'm not sure. But the main thing that I remember is throughout the entire time, all I could think about was trying to get back to my dad, trying to get back to my family, trying to get home. And when I finally found a way to do that, I woke up. So that's my story of what I remember while I was in a coma. If you'd like more information about my story and my journey, there's also a link in the description with the news story that they did on me shortly after I got out of the hospital. Anyways, that's all for now, and I really hope to see you again in my next video. Thank you so much for all the views. Thank you for the kind comments, and I'll see you next time.